What's up? We're back at the Mass Music and Arts Summit on High Street. We got Bad for the Community host, Nate Nix in the house. What's up, Nate?
Bro, you know I'm breaching contract by being here.
Is it in your contract? Oh, man.
Nah. But it's good to be here, man. You know what I mean? I got a lot of respect for everything that y'all are doing.
Same to you.
And it just feels good to be here, too, at the summit. Like, this has been fire all day.
Yeah, this shit's crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's so cool, man, to see, like, all these people coming out, so many familiar faces.
Yeah.
So many people I don't know. We got some big speakers in the house. LaRussell's here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hoping we get to talk to him.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite part so far?
Yeah.
Honestly, so I'm here with Teen Empowerment also. So I'm the program director for our Boston chapter.
Okay.
So for me, like, seeing the young people just being able to network and being able to engage and learn so much from, like, industry, like, icons, industry titans, you feel me? And, like, people that have, like, that wealth of experience, and a lot of them who are from the neighborhoods that they're from, it's always going to be a fruitful experience for me just seeing them grow in, like, real time in those spaces. So it's been dope.
Yeah. And you do more than just host Bad for the Community. You're an artist and producer and engineer.
Yeah.
So
everything, you feel me?
You make videos too?
Yeah, no.
No?
Not yet.
Not yet.
You ain't touched the camera yet?
Not yet. I used to do, like, photography and stuff like that, so I'm, like, real nice with, like, editing photos and editing videos, but I wouldn't call myself, like, that. I wouldn't say that that's my trade or anything like that, because it's boring. I hate it, bro. It's too tedious, too much, like, staring at a screen, like.
All the editing
that's
and shit.
The number one thing I hate about production, too, is, like, just looking at a screen. I can't do it. I hate it.
Yeah.
I love production. I just don't like.
You don't fuck with, like, machine or anything like that, then, so you can get.
I need to get hip. I need to get more. I need to get more hands on with a lot of stuff, so I can start creating it literally, like, from scratch with my hands. Cause I do a lot of work in, like, FL. So for me, it's like I want to get more on that side. I'm just not there yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
My favorite, like, DAW?
Not even DAW.
All
Like,
the
I'm
things?
just saying, of all of it. Like, you're a producer, engineer, artist.
Honestly,
podcast.
being a musician is really fire to me, but being a recording artist is dope. Because when I was younger, I always wanted to, like, make songs. Like, I always, like, sung with my mom, with my family, and I started writing songs when I was, like, a really, like, young kid, just, like, about, like, my cats and things that I was seeing in my house. So I always wanted to write songs. Now that I get to do it, and even, like, impart some of that, like, you know, some of that skill onto, like, some of the young people, like I was saying, that's always gonna be my favorite part. Like, just being able to write and just bring my words to life through performance.
For sure. No, I feel that.
I think that's one of the greatest things about making music is that, like, I think it's unique as an art form in that you can just create something out of thin air that then gives you, like, a huge emotional burst.
Like, literally, like, I sometimes think, like, if I had, like, my capacity right now for, like, writing and for, like, translating my thoughts into, like, words, into action as well when I was, like, younger, like, I feel like my life would be, like, completely different. Like, I feel like I could be, like, the president. Like, I could do anything with my words now. So, like, I think it's also just finding that outlet of expression, you feel me, and utilizing it as that. Because, I mean, it's like you said, like, you're bringing things to life in real time. But for me, it was, like, I really just, like, had a hard time just, like, speaking to people. Like, I've always been, like, good at, like, communicating and stuff like that. But it was, like, if I wanted to tell you something that, like, was deeply personal or something, I just couldn't get it out. You know what I mean? But the music gives me an opportunity to do that. So it's like, not only am I able to create something from out of thin air, but I'm also able to express myself in a meaningful way where, like, sometimes it can feel cathartic just to, like, say what I'm trying to say without having to, like, worry about how people are going to perceive it because I made it sound so nice on a track or, like, you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Yeah, and you're just kind of saying it into space instead of, like, talking to somebody about it or whatever. Yeah.
Nah, for real.
So it sounds like then, like, the vocal side, writing vocals, performing vocals is kind of your favorite part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely.
Do you make all your own beats?
Not all of them, but for the project that I'm working on right now, I want to have a hand in, like, every single beat, even if I'm not, like, the lead producer, or even if I'm just adding, like, a backing melody or something like that, or like tweaking the drums. Like, I want to be way more hands-on with it. You know what I mean? As far as production goes for my own sound. The last project I dropped, though, I did produce every beat. There was one that I co-produced with my boy Johnny Wave. Shout out Johnny, but every other track on there I produced myself.
Was that the one that came out like a year or two ago?
Yeah, last year. Photos.
Dude, that album was amazing.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, I took this
appreciate
shit
that.
out, bro. I was like, yo, this is fucking good.
Yo, thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it was a lot of, like, just, I guess, like, emotional capacity that went into that because I didn't really I was working on a whole separate project at the time before I dropped that one, and I shifted my focus just to do that because I felt like it would be disingenuous of me to, like, move forward as an artist if I wasn't telling people, like, where I was and, like, what I was dealing with at the time. Because to me, my favorite artists, I know, like, my favorite artists are always those that share the most about themselves. Like, they're not afraid of, like, leaning into their authenticity and their story. So I just wanted to make sure that I was, like, honoring the people that came before me that were able to do the same, and also honoring where I was at by making sure that whatever I said, it wasn't me talking about where I wanted to be or talking about where I was. And it was like, yo, this is where I'm at. You feel me? Like, this is what's been going on, and here it is. You know what I mean?
What's your intention with this new project you have coming?
So the new project that I'm working on, honestly, it's really just like me, again, like kind of just telling people where I'm at. You know what I mean? A lot has happened since like that last project dropped. Like, you know what I mean? I've suffered like loss. I've suffered like, you know, I've like reached like different heights in like on my professional life. You feel me? Like as an artist and as like an entrepreneur and as like, you know, a nonprofit like agent. You know what I mean? Like it's all these things. So I just want to make sure I'm just staying authentic. You know what I mean? And just maintaining like that truth, speaking truth to reality. You know what I mean? And making sure that people understand not just like where I'm at, but also like what it can look like. You know what I mean? Not everyone's journey is going to be the same. And I think as artists, sometimes we confuse like each other's like past for where we're supposed to be, when I just want to make sure that people know, like, no matter what you're doing, as long as you like making progress, whether it's slow or non-linear, you're still making it happen. So that's what it's really for me.
No, that's beautiful, because I think a lot of people fail to accept where they're at and just make sure that you're in the present, so that way you can get to that. Because we all see the light. We all see the end goal, right? But that whole process between, you still have to appreciate it, because if you don't, then it's like by the time you get to that end, you know what I'm saying? Like, what was it for?
Facts.
There was a lot of times like I forget the things that I do, the accomplishments that I had, and I don't know if you feel the same. Like, you don't even pat yourself on the back. You don't even
know what
like.
I mean? It's always go, go, go. You don't get a chance to like just bask in the moment. And even sometimes like it might be points where you're at your lowest too, where it's like you got to learn to appreciate those moments too, because without those moments, you'll never become who you're supposed to be. You feel me? And I think, I just want to make sure that people, I'm at least able to relay that from my experience. So maybe one person who hears it might take that away and be like, all right, that's valid. I could do that too. You know what I mean?
No, facts. I look forward to it.
What was the last time you felt like that, like at your lowest?
My lowest? I mean, to be honest, I feel like there's peaks and valleys like always, like day to day. You know what I mean? But, you know, my mom, she passed away in March. So like at that point I was,
Sorry for your loss.
I appreciate you. At that point, like that was like when it just felt like a lot of things in my life were like moving, like forward momentum was like there, but that was something that I was always like dealing with. She was sick for a really long time, and like, you know what I mean? Like she lived with me, so I was always like taking care of her and making sure that she like had what she needed. But from that span from like November of 2023 up until March 2024, like she was like in the hospital. So like for me, it was like after work, going straight to the hospital. Like I would have to cancel like I would cancel shows like in bookings that I had just because I wanted to make sure that I was there with my mom, you feel me? And like, I'll be honest, like one of the things that taught me too is that a lot of these niggas be on bullshit, bro, because niggas don't understand. Like I try to emphasize, like for me, I'm very transparent. So I always tell people, I'm like, yo, like this is my situation, this is this. But like you see, like from those experiences, people will like hit me up, like they'll hit me up about music, they'll hit me up about this shit. But it's like, nah, my nigga, I just told you that like my mom was in the hospital, you feel me? And like you don't even care. Like you're just like, oh, you didn't show up to the show, so it is what it is. And I'm like, you know what? That's cool. Cause I'm like, cause at the end of the day, like all that shit to me at least was like meant to happen. You feel me? Like everything that like happens is for a reason. And one of the things that my mom always instilled in me as like as a person is just like, you got to make sure that like everything that you do is for you. Don't be afraid to like pivot and change if you feel like something's not going your way, because at the end of the day, like no one's gonna like regret it but you. You feel me? If you make a decision, you stick with it too long and try your best to just learn from everything. So that's where I was at in that moment. But to me, that was like in March, that was like my lowest point. Like I just didn't like, it was just too much like new experience and like a very like fresh loss, and like dealing with things on a very like interpersonal level with my family, on my mom's side, and just figuring out how to navigate through those waters for the first time without guidance. You know what I mean? Because the person I would normally call on for guidance was also the person who I'm like working towards these things for. You know what I mean? On her behalf. So it was tough. You know what I mean? For sure.
How have you like gotten a lot of that out in your music since then?
Yeah, I've been writing a lot about what it felt like to be, you know what I mean, like kind of like, because it's like they call it like survivor's guilt, but to me it's a little different when like you're like a child taking care of your parent, you know what I mean, and then like there's like that loss, because it almost feels like you didn't do enough. Like there's all these things where it's like, yo, I could have been doing this if I wasn't here, like maybe this would have been different, and like all those things that really like torment your mind. So I've been like getting a lot of that stuff out through like music and using that as like a form of like healing, you know what I mean, along the way. So yeah. And all the projects that I'm releasing coming up is like, you're gonna hear a lot of those things coming out. It might not all be like a tell-all like song or like anything like that, but through the music, it's like it's always in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I bet you don't regret making sure you spent a lot of time with her.
Nah, definitely not. You know what I mean? Like I know that's what she would have wanted, you feel me?
Yeah.
Like it's my mom. Like when I was sick, when I was a kid, bro, like she would call off work to be like, make sure I was good. You know what I mean?
Oh, you didn't get to stay home and just watch Jerry Springer and Price is Right and shit?
Nah.
That was hard.
And my mom, like me and her, like we had the same birthday. So like the level of like connection that we had was deeper than just like her like raising me or her like being in my life and like a supporter. It was like, that was like that was me. You feel me? Like I was her. You know what I'm saying? Like if I had an experience that was like something great happened to me, like she would celebrate as if it was her. You feel me? And like same thing, vice versa. So there's like that level of connection that's never gonna go away. So same thing. I just want to make sure that I'm like doing her right and making her proud still along the way.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I definitely feel like like her spirit's with you crazy, because like just even being able to talk about it like that easy, like it's not that long ago. So, you know, like that's a different feeling. I know like I've only ever lost friends, and like even just feeling their presence, you know what I'm saying, is the only way that I can like talk about it. So like I feel it for you, and like I'm sorry, but like you're gonna be straight just because she left you with like the gems, like, and just like a good heart. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, for sure.
The thing with a parent too, like, you know, as much as it's so fucking difficult. I lost my dad a few years ago, and my mother's still here, so that was, you know, the first parent I lost or whatever. But like, the thing you can take some solace in, I think, is like you're supposed to outlive them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like you definitely don't want it the other way around, because the pain that would put him through is too much.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Nah, for real.
But it's tough, man. How do you find balancing doing the podcast and you know, all the music?
I think for me, like I'm real good at like compartmentalizing things. So with the podcast, like we know like we meet once a week and then we record once a week. So for us, it's like real good. But I think scheduling is huge. Just making sure that everything has its time and place in my life. I'm like recently my partner moved in with me. So like me and her are like living together, and we're like, you know, navigating through that. So like even with music, it can be tough to like, you know, make sure that everything is smooth on like a relationship end while still like being in my like grind mode when I'm writing every day and I'm trying to find space to like go to events and all this stuff.
Yep.
So I think it's just compartmentalizing everything and making sure that I'm doing, if something needs to shift, like for the pod, like if we want to take it so that we're recording like 2-3 days a week, I just got to make sure that it aligns with like where I'm at, and then assessing my capacity and being direct and straightforward with folks too. Because for music, like music's never going to be something that I'm like shifting my focus away from. Like every day I write, and every day I'm either like I'm in either producing something or I'm in type of some like artistic engagement, you know? So that's never going anywhere, but I think it's then fitting everything else in that's like ancillary, like, you know, I would say like secondary, and making sure that those secondary things don't transition into becoming like tertiary things, because the podcast to me is like secondary because I want to pour into it, but I can't pour into that as much as I pour into music. You know what I mean? Like no offense, podcasts, like especially not this one or my own, but that's never going to be like my prioritized focus. You know what I mean?
No, I feel the same way. Like this is, to me, this is an extension of making music.
Exactly. It's an extension of what I'm doing. That's a perfect way to put it. You know what I mean? Because I think we're all talented artists in our own right. So I know we have a like similar framework around that.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of cool. What do you got? How you guys feeling about the show? What are you trying to do with it next?
Yeah, I mean, we're excited. Like this year has been crazy because like we've learned a lot about like how we can like, I guess like generate community through like different like social engagements. We're trying to do our own live shows. So that's like really the biggest thing where our minds are at right now, is like doing live podcasts, and also figuring out ways that we can like continue to engage and expand our team. Because right now it's really just 4 of us. You feel me? It's me, Tomo, Eves, Rob. But we're getting a team of editors together so that we can start putting together more short form content and more like ancillary content for our for like the artist community in Boston. Because can't have everyone on the podcast, like, you know, that it's like it's not gonna work. But if you can do like short form interviews where you just getting people in the room and you do like a quick like 10-minute joint, like you can do that. No water off our back. So we're trying to figure out ways to like just open up our engagement, expand our team, and then start moving into the live territory.
That's awesome. I gotta ask you a question though, because I seen it on your pod. What you mean by Brockton's cursed?
Brockton, bro, the Brockton curse in the chamber.
What's the Brockton curse?
Okay, so Peep, right? So Lila, shout out to Lila actually, because Lila technically is like the remover of the curse in real time. But we had a bunch of chambers, right, to this point. Master of the Chamber, shout out Enjoy the Thrill, the event, MC competition that's been going on for 2 years, 2.5 really. But no one from Brockton had won a chamber who identified like, I am from Brockton, not like I'm from Brockton and other places, or like I be in Brockton. Like no, someone from Brockton who's won. Lila was the first one, but then we got to the Ultimate Iron Grandmaster tournament, and then she didn't win. So like then it was like, see, like people from Brockton, they broke the Brockton curse so they can win, but the Grandmaster title still belongs to Boston. So
still
we gonna see, because
the Brockton curse.
There's the rumblings that Roberto, right, Rob, they say 508 Rob, they're saying that he might be the one to break the curse. The streets is asking for him to be in the chamber in next season, because he still talks about that first round and all that stuff, but it's like now he has a bigger catalog and all that stuff. So we're gonna see. I don't know. He might be the chosen one, but shout out to
Shouts
Brockton, man.
around,
Like,
yeah.
there's mad artists that are coming out of Brockton right now that I feel like could have done it. We just got to do. I think one of the biggest things too is just getting more Brockton artists in the chamber, because to me, like Boston and Brockton are like neck and neck. Like when it comes to the artists that are coming out of the areas, it's just too much talent. I think like there's a lot, but Brockton and Boston are like to me like neck and neck. There's too much going on in both, where it's like it's too fire.
Yeah,
it's almost too fire. No cap. Might need Boston. No cap. We might need it. We gotta keep being up there. You feel me? Because
it's like a chupa.
Facts.
Why didn't you tell me this was hanging off my ear?
Why didn't you tell me mine was hanging? I didn't see that
this
shit.
thing.
I didn't see that at all.
Crazy.
The lanyard.
It looked like the.
But you're starting to trend though.
Yeah, actually, no, I did it on purpose. Bro.
See, people gonna see that and they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's how we wearing it." My fault. That's like a different level of VIP. That's how we distinguish like the priority VIP from like the regular.
See?
You know what I mean? Like it's just a guest type.
Don't get him. Don't even. Don't hype him.
Listen.
Yo.
Hey, bro, thank you for hanging with us.
Hey, of course.
Don't drop the lead.
It's cool to finally have one of you guys on the show.
Bro. And like, listen, we definitely got to work too, man. You feel me? Like you're one of the most talented producers out of this area, and I think like
that.
I don't know how many people get to say it to you, but you're definitely like, to me at least, like you're top 5. And I think that a lot of people need to start like looking to you more for like project curation, because you have like an eye for executive production that I think a lot of people don't have.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you very much.
Most definitely.
It's nice of you.
It comes. Hey, listen. I ain't gonna come up over here and be like, you know what I mean, like BFTC. Like we on High Street tonight, man.
Nah, pop the shit, man.
So shout out to y'all.
The show rocks, dude. Where can people find you online?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, all social media platforms at Knicks Nation, NICSNATION. And if you're interested in the music, definitely follow me on any platform again. But that's at Nate Knicks, NATENICS.
All right, we'll be back with more from the Mass Music and Arts Summit.